whoever is there. There's a human body, a dead person there.
It just doesn't make sense. How does Maura Murray just disappear?
On February 9, 2004, Maura Murray, a 21-year-old nursing student at the University of Massachusetts Amherst, left her parents' home and drove to campus, where she was completing her junior year. However, she never showed up. It wasn't unusual for students to miss classes, so initially, her absence didn't raise any alarms. About 3 hours and 24 minutes later, the nursing school supervisor received an email from Maura stating that she would be out of town for a week due to a family death. However, her family had not experienced any such loss. While her family was concerned, they weren't entirely surprised by Maura's behavior. 3 months prior, in November, she had been expelled from the United States Military Academy for stealing makeup, and she admitted to using a stolen credit card for food orders and crashing her father's car into a guardrail, resulting in significant damage. All of these occurrences happened back to back, which took a big toll on her. Despite her past shortcomings and occasional missteps, she possessed an inherently good heart, and her beautiful smile would catch anyone's attention. It is believed that her plan was to go on a 1-week vacation to clear her head. Maura only communicated with her boyfriend via text, with her last message, "I love you more, stud. I got your messages, but honestly, I didn't feel like talking too much of anyone. I promised to call today though. Love you, Maura." Maura Murray didn't disclose her destination to anyone. Around 7:27 p.m., approximately 6 hours later, a resident heard a loud noise outside her home. Looking out her window, she spotted a car lodged against a snowbank. Concerned, she called 911 to report the accident. A passing school bus driver who lived nearby also stopped at the scene. He saw the car and noticed a young woman walking around it. While she wasn't bleeding or visibly injured, she appeared cold and shivering. The bus driver offered to call for help, but the woman insisted she had already done so. Aware that there was no cellular reception in the area, the bus driver proceeded home and called the police.
Asked her how she was. She said she was shaken up. I couldn't see any blood on her face, and she was shaking like this. I says, okay, I'm gonna go call the police.
Police arrived at the scene 20 minutes later, only to find the woman driver missing. No one was inside or around the car. The vehicle had collided with a tree on the driver's side, resulting in a cracked windshield and deployed airbags. Upon running the license plate, police identified the car's owner as Maura Murray. When officers searched the vehicle, they discovered makeup, cracked alcohol bottles, blank accident report forms requested by her father, and driving directions to Burlington, Vermont. Additionally, police found it unusual that a rag belonging to Maura was discovered inside the car's muffler pipe. The police could not determine why it was there or whether Maura herself had placed it there. However, her bank card and cell phone were missing. A missing person investigation was launched immediately, sparking speculation that she may have chosen to disappear voluntarily, given her secretive travel preparations undisclosed to friends or family.
There was no sign of her at all. There was no footprints in the snow, nothing. She just disappeared off the face of the planet in 7 to 10 minute window with people watching her.
It just doesn't make sense. How does Maura Murray just disappear?
Police discovered that prior to crashing her car, Maura had attempted to book hotel rooms at locations where her family had previously vacationed, but without success. At 3:40 p.m., surveillance footage from an ATM captured Maura withdrawing $280. She appeared calm and unthreatened in the video. $40 of the withdrawn money was used to purchase alcoholic beverages found in her car. Later that day, around 8:00 p.m., a witness reported seeing a young person, matching Maura's description, walking quickly about 5 miles east of where her vehicle was found. The witness described the individual as wearing jeans, a dark coat, light-colored hood, and a black backpack, which was the primary lead of evidence for the police at the time. The following day, a voicemail was left on her father, Fred Murray's answering machine at 3:20 p.m., indicating that her car had been found abandoned. Concerned, He contacted the Haverhill Police Department, who informed him that if Maura was not reported safe by the following morning, a search would commence at 5 p.m.
We have searched this area extensively, and we have a very good feeling that we've done everything that we can do to assure that she's not in the vicinity of the crash site.
A police dog tracked the scent from one of Maura's gloves approximately 100 yards east of where the vehicle was discovered, but the trail was lost, suggesting she may have left the area in another vehicle. From that point onward, there were no further clues as to Maura Murray's whereabouts until her boyfriend's phone received a voicemail. The caller's voice was believed to be Maura's, sobbing. The call was traced to a calling card issued to the American Red Cross, but no further investigation could be pursued.
Officials plan to continue doing background checks on Maura with the help of the FBI to try to establish her frame of mind prior to disappearing. But at this point, there will be no further search of the area. As for Maura's family and friends, their search continues.
The case garnered widespread attention, particularly gaining traction when Facebook was just 5 days old. While missing person cases typically fall under the jurisdiction of local and state police, the FBI became involved in the investigation following her disappearance. Eventually, the case was classified as a cold case, prompting the Arkansas group to offer a $40,000 reward for any information that could shed light on her disappearance. Despite extensive efforts, including interviews with her family and multiple search operations involving ground and air units equipped with advanced technology such as thermal imaging cameras and tracking dogs, authorities were unable to uncover any conclusive leads or evidence connected to the case.
There's no way that she would ever put just the two most important people in her life that I'm aware of, her father and my son, through this nightmare. There's no way.
Several months later, during the winter season, the case resurfaced when a man purportedly presented Murray's father with a rusty, stained knife. This knife allegedly belonged to the man's brother, who had a criminal record and resided less than a mile from where Murray's car was discovered. The brother and his girlfriend exhibited suspicious behavior following Murray's disappearance, leading the man to believe that the knife had been used in her demise. Murray's father submitted the knife for forensic analysis and DNA testing, but no conclusive evidence could be derived. Notably, a few days after the knife was handed over, the man's brother reportedly scrapped his car. Family members of the individual who provided the knife asserted that he concocted the story to secure reward money in the investigation.
I think she was picked up by someone who did her harm. I tend to think she's no longer with us because she hasn't reached out to any of us.
You keep it a missing person case forever. You never have to say anything at all about what you did.
2 years later, in October 2006, volunteers organized a 2-day search near the area where Murray's car was discovered. During the search, cadaver dogs exhibited unusual behavior near an A-frame house located about a mile from the crash site, suggesting the possible presence of human remains. Adding to the intrigue, this house had previously been occupied by the individual implicated by his brother, who had provided Fred Murray with the rusty knife in 2004. However, due to lack of cooperation from the owners, an excavation could not be carried out at that time. It wasn't until April 2019, 15 years after her disappearance, that an excavation was finally conducted within the basement of the house. Fred Murray had long expressed interest in searching the property. Following the sale of the property, the new owners permitted multiple searches, culminating in the excavation in early April. Unfortunately, the excavation yielded no significant findings, aside from what appeared to be a piece of pottery or old piping. This outcome proved to be a major disappointment for the entire family.
2 different dogs went in there and seemed to hit on this area, indicating that something might be buried in the basement.
It tells me that my daughter is buried there most likely, and that I'm powerless to dig her up and bring her home and give her a proper burial.
On September 14, 2021, a glimmer of hope emerged in the investigation into Maura Murray's disappearance when police announced the discovery of bone fragments on Loon Mountain, approximately 25 miles east of where Murray's car had crashed. Murray had previous familiarity with the area, having been to the mountain before, as confirmed by her sister. Initially, there was speculation that the bones could belong to Murray. However, in November of the same year, it was revealed that the remains were not hers. Following this disappointment, the investigation hit another roadblock, with no further significant leads emerging. In response, the FBI issued a national alert for Murray's case and established a violent criminal apprehension profile, facilitating the sharing of information among various law enforcement agencies. On the 20th anniversary of Murray's disappearance in February 2024, New Hampshire officials released an age progression photo of her. Despite ongoing efforts, Murray's case remains unsolved, leaving her family and authorities still searching for answers.